Hello and welcome to the Blue Open Studio tutorial video series. The topic of this video will be licensing Blue Open Studio. In this video, we will be discussing the software revision conventions, different available licenses, and how to license the software. And then we will demonstrate licensing the software. The software revision syntax for Blue Open Studio is as follows. We have three groups of version numbers. The first group is the major version. In this will include major features and enhancements. And typically, upgrades within this version are free. For example, if you went from 8.0 Service Pack 2 and you upgraded to 8.0 Service Pack 3, that upgrade will be free of charge and will not require a license reauthorization. However, if you went from 8.0 to 8.1, that would be a purchased upgrade and would require a new license authorized. The second group are service packs. And the service packs usually have bug fixes and will add some minor feature enhancements. And the last group are patches, and these are typically bug fixes only. There is a fourth group that is not listed on this revision convention, and those are hot fixes. And those are emergency fixes for individual customers only. Occasionally they will be published to the website or could be rolled into future releases of patches, service packs, or versions. To download the software, we'll go to our support site to the download page. Don't worry, that link will be available in the comments. And then we can simply download the zip file from here. Once we have the zip file downloaded, we'll need to extract it before we can install. Once the software has been extracted, we can open up the install folder and then run the setup. We'll now begin installing Blue Open Studio. One thing you want to note is when you're installing Blue Open Studio, when you get to the select feature screen, there will be an option called Mobile Access Runtime. If you do not have Internet Information Services or IIS installed, you will not be able to install this feature. You can always go back later and add it after the installation, but you need to have IIS pre-installed before you can install the Mobile Access Runtime feature. Once we have completed installation of the software, we can now begin to license the software. In order for us to properly license the software, we have to be more familiar with the available licenses for Blue Open Studio. So for BOS, there are 4 types of licenses. There are 2 runtime types and 2 build time types, a soft key and a hard key. At this time, soft keys are the only licenses available. The hard keys will be released when Wave 2 comes out, which is scheduled for the beginning of Q4 of 2017. Only a single soft key can be used on a system, meaning that if you license your laptop as a build time, and then you relicense it for runtime, you now lose the build time or development capability. And in order to get that back, you'd have to relicense it as a build time, but then you would lose the runtime. And currently there is no combination build time and runtime license. However, that is scheduled again to be released with Wave 2 at the beginning of Q4 of 2017. There are 4 license levels. Each have its own name and tag count. We go all the way from machine control, which is 1,500 tags, to line management, which is 4,000, supervision light, which is 32,000, and then finally supervision, which is 64,000 tags. Now the license levels or tag counts apply to a single application, not the software as a whole. Meaning that if you have a, for example, 4,000 tag license, you can open or run project files with 4,000 tag counts or less. And there is no limit to the number of applications that can be opened by the software. However, only one instance of the build time and one instance of the runtime can be opened or running at one time. We have license add-ons available. There is the Studio Mobile Access or SMA and Secure Viewer Thin clients. And then there are also 3 different import wizards. These 3 add-ons will be discussed later in this video, and we'll go more in depth with them in other videos as well. The software license add-ons can be licensed and included when the software is licensed, or can be added in at a later time. One last note on the licensing. The licensing is independent from the software installation, meaning that when the software is installed, the full suite, both development and runtime, are installed. Only the features available or configured for the license are available for you in the software, meaning that if you license the software for development, the runtime is not available to you. There is a demonstration runtime that will run for 72 hours and then it'll have to be restarted. Conversely, if you license the software for a runtime, none of the development side, none of the build time will be available to you. So only the available features and functions determined by the license will be available to you. However, the entire software is installed. Software part numbers. Currently, our software part numbers follow the same syntax as other ProFace parts. We have our prefix of PFX, then we have the software type, then the license type, license level, media type, and version number. And based on the table on the left-hand side and the descriptions on the right-hand side, we can easily configure part numbers that we need. So the examples at the bottom, the top one is a 64,000 tag build time DVD installation media license. The second one is a 32,000 tag build time license only. And the bottom one is a runtime license for 1,500 tags. The runtime licenses for Blue Open Studio, there are currently 2 different types available. One is a BTO or build to order option, and the second is the license only. Type 1 includes and is currently only available for the PS5000 series of industrial PCs. Here are the optional BTO or configuration numbers. It also includes a license sticker or a USB key when they come available, an installation and registration instruction card. However, no installation media is included, but the software installer is included on the ProFace Industrial PC recovery media. However, if you were to lose your recovery media or need to download an updated version, you can simply go to our support site and download the software. Type 2 includes the license sticker or USB key when they become available, an installation and registration card. However, no installation media, but the software can be downloaded from our support site. Similar to the runtime licensing, the build time licenses have 2 different types available. The first is the license and installation media, which is currently a DVD, and the second is the license only. Type 1 includes the license sticker and USB key when they become available, the installation media, which is currently a DVD, a registration URL to register the software, And type 2 includes the license sticker and USB key when available, an installation and registration instruction card, but no installation media. But once again, the software can be downloaded from our support site. And there is an additional charge for both the installation media and USB key. I believe they are both around $50 list price. Other than that, there is no difference between the two license types. License levels. Simple description of the 4 available. Here are the 3 that are currently released. And then the Supervision Lite, which will be released in Wave 2. And as you can see, not only does each license have a tag count, but it also has a simultaneous driver count. And what that means is that is the maximum number of unique drivers that can be configured in the software or in the application. Not the number of devices, but the number of unique drivers. For example, machine control, which is a 1500 tag license, allows you to have 3 simultaneous drivers. So you could have a Modbus Ethernet, Modbus serial, and let's say Rockwell Ethernet IP. There are your 3. Line management has 5. Supervision Lite will also have 5. And then finally Supervision, which will have 8. Part numbers for the thin clients. The thin clients are both the SMA or Studio Mobile Access and Secure Viewer. And their part numbers follow the same syntax as other ProFace America products. Based on the table on the left and description on the right, we can determine what part number we need for the thin clients. So the examples at the bottom, the first part number is a Blue Open Studio Mobile Access 4 license part number. And as you can see, you have license levels of 4 or 8. And by default, the software installation includes 1 SMA and 1 Secure Viewer thin client connection. And these licenses are for the number of concurrent or simultaneous connections. And if you need more than 8, you can simply purchase a combination of licenses to get what you need. So for example, if you need 20, you would buy 2 of the 8 and 1 of the 4. Or you could buy 5 of the 4 if you'd like. It's all up to what number of thin clients you need. And our add-ons for the Blue Open Studio licensing. The syntax for the part numbers are similar, however they are shortened. And based on the table and description on the right, the description you see has 4 add-on types, however only 3 are available, and those are the import wizards. We can determine with the examples what product we need. So once the USB hard keys become available, you would simply order the top number to get a USB hard key, and that would be for either the runtime or the development. And then of course the bottom 2 are for our Panel Builder 32 and Factory Talk import wizards. Now the license labels for the software can be a little confusing. It can be easy to mistake one for the other. So here is an example of 2 different license labels. The top one is the build time and the bottom is the runtime. But as you can see, it is easy to mistake one for the other. There's really 2 locations on the label that you need to look in order to determine exactly which license you're looking at. And that is in the middle of the part number or towards the end of the description. Additionally, on the label itself that comes with your license, this is the silver ProFace label that you see on the majority of other ProFace software and some products. Once again, in the middle of the part number or at the top with the description towards the end. And for reference, here is a add-on part number label where the description and part number is completely different. These ones are a little easier to tell apart. A quick license comparison between the hard key and soft key. For the hard key pros, it's easy to reuse or move. This is key or very beneficial for development or troubleshooting purposes. It would be really easy to go in to help troubleshoot a system that was a runtime unit. You simply plug the USB key in, change the licensing over for soft key to hard key. Now you're able to develop or modify the application. Once you're done, switch the licensing back over, remove your key, and now you're back to runtime only. However, this is an additional cost, and also you risk breakage and loss of the USB key. The soft key, on the other hand, there is no physical equipment available or necessary for it. However, the cons for those is when the target PC changes or you have to reinstall the software or replace a crucial component of your PC, the software needs to be reauthorized or reactivated. A quick description of the installation and registration instruction card. The activation URL on the front is incorrect. So what we've done is we have placed a label with the correct URL on the outside of the envelope for the instruction card, but also on the inside of the jewel case for the DVD installation media. Now, before we license the software, we'll quickly walk through the steps necessary. First thing we'll need to do is open the registration utility, which is typically located in the Start menu under All Programs. And you go to Proface and then Blue Open Studio, and then it is the BOS and then the version number, register. Then we will select Soft Key on the Protection Manager window and then click Check. Once we do that, the Soft Key Settings window will appear, and it will typically say under Status, License Not Found. We will then click on Change License. Then we'll get the Change License dialog box, and then we will need to select a network adapter. We recommend changing this from the wireless controller to a wired Ethernet controller if you have one. And this is because whenever you put your laptop into airplane mode or you disable that wireless controller, because of how Windows operates and how the registration utility looks at the OS, your license can become invalid or will show up missing. And this is because the site code is generated off of several different features or facets of your operating system and of your hardware. One of the primary is the MAC address of the selected network adapter. By disabling the network adapter, it no longer sees a MAC address, and then that site code becomes invalid. Your license is now missing. By simply re-enabling the Ethernet controller or network adapter, your license will return. However, this can sometimes be an issue, especially with wireless Ethernet controllers. So once you select a network adapter, you'll simply click on the copy button to copy the site code off into your clipboard. Then we'll need to go to the registration webpage, and then we'll simply fill out the information here. First part of it will be our site code that we just copied. Then we will select the part number of our license, enter in the serial number and activation key, which can be located on the silver Proface label that accompanies your license, and then enter in the remainder of the information, and then simply click confirm. You will receive a registration confirmation email like this. It will give you your customer name, verify the part numbers, and then provide you with your site keys. Then give you some additional information on how to register the software. Once you receive that information back, we will then go back into the Proface program group under Blue Open Studio, and then once again open the register. Make sure that soft key is still selected, then click check. Come back into the settings window, select change license. Make sure that our network adapter is still selected to what it was when we generated the site code. Make sure that the site code is still correct. Then enter in our site key that we received via email, and then click authorize. If everything goes well, you will get a pop-up that says site key accepted. To summarize our software licensing, Blue Open Studio has an evaluation period. It is a real version of the software. There are no feature restrictions. The only restriction is time. and it lasts for 40 hours of use. This is not 40 hours of real time, it's 40 hours of use. So if you say have the software installed, you open it, you start running it for say an hour, and then you close it, you don't open it for another 3 weeks, you open it again, you still have 39 hours of evaluation left. And during the evaluation, the runtime will operate for 2 hours and then it will stop, but it can be simply restarted again. For purchase licenses, the user will need to supply the following information to generate the license. It will be the site code, which is found on the registration tool installed with Blue Open Studio, the serial number, an activation key, and part number, which will be provided on the silver ProFace license sticker. And then you will complete and submit the site key request form at the following URL. You will then receive an email containing the site key. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact ProFace America Technical Support by phone at 1-800-289-9266, option 2, or by email, support@profaceamerica.com. You can also visit our website, profaceamerica.com, for manuals, drivers, product FAQs, and other product and software information. Thanks again, and have a great day.